Music One. You're listening live.
Live from a city near you.
This is the Travis Mills Show.
You're tapped in Apple Music One. I am joined by Ren, sitting across from me in the Apple Music Los Angeles studios. Brother, how you doing?
Hello. Yes, I'm good, man, and it's good to be here.
Dude, excited to have you, man. First of all, I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot is going on right now, and we're here to talk about Sick Boy, the album. 18 songs you've given us. How does it feel to have a project like this out into the world?
It feels good, man. It feels surreal to be in this situation right now, even here. I wanted to tell you a little story. One of my best girlmates back home from Mum. I didn't even clock it until I was in here. She had the biggest crush on you. I remember when I was 18, 19 years old, she'd just constantly be like, look at this guy. Look at these photos.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's good to have you, man.
She's going to be excited about this.
Yeah. I mean, dude, just listening to your music, you can tell how much blood, sweat, and tears, just how you pour 110% of yourself into every single record.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this world that you created with Sick Boy.
So Sick Boy, for me, it was about, because my work before that was always quite eclectic and I always dabbled in a lot of different genres. And for me, I loved hip hop growing up. It was such a big part of what I loved about music, especially a lot of the early hip hop and this kind of like the message of battling against adversity. And it felt like a good genre for my story of battling adversity to sit in. And I wanted to set myself the challenge, because I'm pretty ADHD, of just like having that story in one genre rather than just bouncing all over the place. And it was a good challenge for me, and it feels really cool that so many people have resonated with it who aren't necessarily even fans of hip hop. I've had a lot of messages from people like, I don't normally like this, but for some reason this is connecting, so it feels really nice.
I think it's testament to, the message is what it boils down to, right? And if it's clear enough, if it's loud enough, people are going to resonate with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's just a vehicle that you're using to get it out there.
Yeah, 100%.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Well, I want to start the show off with some music, if that's okay with you.
I love
the
it.
third installment of your Money Game series, Money Game Part 3. I mean, how does the idea to do, 3 parts come to you? And I mean, is it safe to say we can expect more?
Well, the thing is, for me, I take a lot of my inspiration when people ask me, what's your inspiration for music and stuff? One of the biggest inspirations for me is movies. I just love cinema and like directors like Stanley Kubrick, Quentin Tarantino. So for me, like trilogies or pieces, sequences in music where a story or a theme continues is a really exciting thing for me to explore, because you can adapt on it. You can build on who you were maybe a couple of years ago. And also as well, it's the anticipation. If someone likes something you did before, then like, on this next album, there's a sequel coming.
Yeah.
I love a sequel.
Yeah. We're going to play it right now. Money Game Part 3, more with Ren, right after this.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, give me. 2 years old, he was walking. 3 years old, walking quickly. 4 years old, he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here, son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents pay for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematic equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocol. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns to profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposit. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy told him, listen here, son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. And now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the popo inside of his pocket. 35, he gets a call. I'm sorry, son, it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing this product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion. Heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words still driving him to kill and devour. He makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think he'll be walking again. Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, give me. 41, he wasn't walking. 42, not walking quickly. 43, never running round the pavements of his city. 44, inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside a cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic, off the money and fame. Cut the music. This isn't entertainment, this is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. We're hyperpolarized, we're always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we design. Money's an invention, politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention board is an invention? Law and order fuel the tension that leads to people killing each other. My solution is everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. If we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd, if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside the petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface, then consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. 45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair. He's been drinking again. He has everything he wants. He has fortune and fame. Such a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father. It's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Back here on Apple Music One, that was Money Game Part 3. You know, you mentioned when we first sat down that you've had to overcome some huge obstacles to even get to this point, and there were moments in your life where you didn't even know if you would make it this far.
Yeah.
Do you mind kind of expanding on that a little bit and diving in for everyone listening on what you've had to overcome?
Yeah, of course, man. Well, when I was 19, I was due to be. I was working with a subsidiary label from Sony at the time. I'd been spotted on the streets out busking by this guy who just made the Plan B Defamation of Strickland Banks, which is an awesome record. This guy Eric, and so I was in the process. I was like 6 months into recording this thing, and there was a lot of industry buzz and stuff. And I was like, couldn't believe it. I was 19 years old, and it was all this stuff that I've been working on since I was like 10, manifesting. And then one summer I went camping, came back, started experiencing all these really weird symptoms. Like my personality had vanished overnight, and it was like I just started getting all these weird random pains in my body. I went to the doctors, and they were like, wow, you're going through a lot of change, there's a lot going on in your life, you're probably just overwhelmed and depressed. So they put me on some citalopram. It just got worse after that, then ended up bouncing back and forth to therapists, just ended up getting worse. I was deteriorating to the point where I'd get on stage in these industry showcases, I'd be shaking because I always felt so weak, but I was just like so determined to push through. But then it got to the point where I just had to stop because my symptoms got so bad. I moved home with my mum. And I was like, right, I'll take a few months resting, then I'll be fine. Sadly, wasn't the case. I just got worse and worse. And it got to the point where I had to give up that dream. And then over the years, I was bouncing back and forward, getting misdiagnosed. I was diagnosed with ME, which is chronic fatigue syndrome, which is a bit of an umbrella term, I think. And Yeah, I just kept getting worse and worse and worse. By the time I was 25, I was too sick to get out of bed, probably in bed for about a whole year. I had to eat all my meals blended. I could barely stand up in the shower, and I was just always in pain. And it was by luck that I managed to figure out what was wrong, because I went through an intense bout of psychosis. It was almost like I wasn't getting answers from the medical industry, and I wasn't getting answers from the spiritual side of things, because I was just like looking for answers wherever I could, and I kept getting worse. And I think I had an emotional breakdown where my brain tried to create a reality that would justify what I was going through. I thought it was demonic. And I ended up going to an infectious disease specialist in Brussels, and he diagnosed me with Lyme disease. And that was the start of my journey to recovery and being able to sit here and be a functional human being again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I know as artists, sometimes we'll intentionally put ourselves through hell, right, to pull inspiration out of it.
Yeah.
Did you find any kind of new inspiration or angles to create from when you were going through all of this?
I think it becomes vital, because otherwise what you've gone through is unjustified, right? So if for a decade of my life I just suffered and then I just ignored it, blocked it away and did something else, it kind of just feels like it was all for nothing. So to be able to take it and create something from it, it's like, okay, well, this had a purpose, because I wouldn't be able to create this on this subject matter if I hadn't gone through it. And if I did, it would be completely inauthentic. So I think it gives it purpose. And by giving it purpose, it stops becoming this insidious thing and has meaning. And I think that's really vital.
You're able to kind of turn it around and take ownership over it.
Yeah.
Right? Something that's essentially kind of ruled your life and changed the trajectory of it. You get to kind of turn it around.
Yeah, it stops becoming an adversary. It starts becoming a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that where a song like Sick Boy comes in?
Hell yeah. For me, that's, and even the album, it kind of like summarizes my frustration with like allopathic medicine. And you go in and sit in a doctor's office and they're like, right, here's some prescriptions, cool, be on your way. It's like a conveyor belt, and I had that experience. So that's where that song was born. It was kind of like my frustrations of kind of felt like I was a past the parcel, just being handed from thing to thing to thing. And then people being like, well, we don't know what to do here. So go and get some therapy, I guess. You know what I mean? So one of those things.
I want to play that song right now if it's cool with you, man.
Yes, let's do it.
Sick Boy, Hi Ren, right after this.
Hi Ren, thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for seeing me.
Looking at your file here, it seems there's a very apparent interplay with your emotional state and your physical body. Have you ever heard of the trauma response?
I don't think so.
Basically, our bodies can get stuck in a negative feedback loop. Our subconscious can repeat patterns from the past, which can have a pretty drastic downstream effect on our biology. Essentially, your mind is making you sick.
Sick boy, bitten by a tick boy, looking for that fix boy, anabolic steroids, damn cell, poster boy, pass out, white noise, quick fix, snake oil, I'm about to break boy. Oh, what a shame, he's in pain, have another go, take another pill, here, take a couple more, let's see how you're doing in another week or so, you'll be feeling worse when the side effects will show, derealization, medical patient, losing patience with the process, walking hand in hand with Satan, complications with the medication, inflammation, dehydration, inhalation, aggravation, building up a toleration, drown, soccer, drown, soccer, drown, soccer, drown, I've been feeling like I'm drowning with my feet upon the ground, I've been screaming, I've been shouting, but I never make a sound, I've been looking for a way out, but I always seem to drown.
Is this all making sense, Ren?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. What I propose we do is we try to pinpoint the exact experiences from the past that are keeping you stuck. What can you tell me about your childhood?
I can't really think.
It's okay if nothing comes up right away. What I'd like you to do is take some deep breaths with me. In and out. In and out. Good. Now tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. We're given everything we need and we commoditize it. We consume, we destroy like we're parasitic. Science tells us that it's suicide and still we commit. I'm not sick, we are standing on a cliff in the name of progress. We jump off the precipice. I'm not sick, I'm the virus, you're the virus, hypocrite. How can you sit there with that smile on and tell me that I'm sick? Sick boy, looking for a fix boy. Push it down in public, quick pose for the pick boy. Record label meetings that commodify your gift boy. Why you so upset? Don't you wanna be a rich boy? No, industry is cutthroat. I've been doing bits by myself, swimming backstroke, walking on a tightrope, rapping with a slit throat. The way that we persist is like the ending of a bad joke. As the people evolve, we're complacent to assailants and we do what we're told. Counterintelligence, a sight to behold. The earth of all resources and we bleed it for gold. And we bleed it for wealth, we bleed it for fame. But when you bleed it, can you tell me what in myself, I bleed in my brain. While I'm bleeding, I'm the reason, cause I'm too insane.
You've got the backstage pass for the Travis Mills Show.
I lay broken on the kitchen floor. I clawed at the laminate. Pain wandered my body, an uninvited guest. Bones of a home where the devil could rest. I cursed the gods, cursed my messiah, cursed my maker. I cursed all of creation. There I lay, feeble and thin. Sick boy, 797. Have you ever felt pain? Stomach wrenching, unrelenting. Tell me, have you ever felt pain? Condescending, muscles clenching. Tell me, have you ever felt pain? A rose emerges from the pavement cracks. I'll write my eulogy with broken glass. Eternal parallax.
Pain.
Pain the author, I accept this. Pain the teacher, bruised apprentice. Pain resisting, pain will come. Pain the mother, I'm the son. Pain that splits you, and too many hits you. The dark and the light will converge to one. Pain that twists you, the heavens dismiss you. The Father, the Ghost, and the Holy Son. Body bagging me. Zip it up quick, if they things on B. I search for peace in the belly of a beast. Sick boy, on a matapia. Running up a fever, following a leader. Wanna be me, huh? Grass isn't greener. Bright light seizure, dynamite dealer. Dine at the table of the coroner, E-top. 13 years and I'm feeling so stark. Lucky number 13, just my luck. Empires tumble, rubble and dust. The universe shrinks and the planets combust. In God we trust. God tied a noose to his neck and he walked to the edge and he jumped. Angels wept, I bear witness, watching the whole thing unfold from my bed. A bed where I never deep rest. A bed where I'm always depressed. A bed with the human oppressed. A bed for a tomb where I slept. A bed in the room that's a womb for this mess. Sick boy bitten by a tick boy. Tell me how it feels to be buried while you breathe. Stones and sticks boy, pain is a gift boy. Hard to make a stand when you crawl on your knees and I kneel. I kneel at the altar of my own disease and I beg. I begged this guy for mercy, mercy never came. I dipped me dirty, 33 and hurting, cursing. Jesus died at 33 and still my sins are lurking. Gears are turning, future stays uncertain. Surgeon incision, murder ambition. Fear of the unknown preserves a religion. Denounced the gods when my body went missing. Back then, the pain spray ricochet like a Mac 10. Hot lead hit the bed that was trapped in. Red wings, seraphim out of God's grace. Cried tears from heaven like clapping. Stick pins in the voodoo Hendrix. Stick skin, stay humble Kendrick. Stay skeptic, check the biometrics. Bloodstained crime scene forensic. Lights on, lights out. Fade into the background. So down. Running from the silhouette of self-doubt. By now, really should've figured it out. Lights on, lights out. Smackdown. Let it be. Quote John Lennon. Click-clack, John got shot for attention. What does that tell you about the good of intentions? Bitterness formed in a storm of aggression. Prophets get dropped, imagining heaven. Martin Luther, Muhammad, or dead. 6-6 followed by 6 and 7. Build and praise and bury them dead. I was born to be half a man with half a chance. My heart isn't half righteous. Half is down and half a gram. Half those troubles and thoughts stay darker than a Rukai master plan. Sharper than glass shards, splinter and cinema. Irony could kill a man. Pain makes money when the music lands. Expand, pay me my cheese, rain down parmesan. Followed by 7 whole sins for a self-made Armageddon. Sin 1, pride. Pride makes a man kill a man for his ego to survive. Sin 2, lust makes the grass look greener. Crucifies trust. Sin 3, gluttony. Humans consume and consume. Planet Earth gets a frontal lobotomy. 4, sloth. Rinse and repeat. Reruns, repeat. Time lost. Sin 5, envy. That's when one man's win is another man's frenzy. Sin 6, wrath, rage, vengeance, killers, psychopath. Sin 7, greed. Greed plants a seed that will destroy us all if we succumb to greed. If we take what we need, then take more than we need, then our oceans will bleed. Still we feed and we sleep and repeat. Then we exile the shepherds and follow the sheep. We inherit the meat. We inherit this world that we bruise and we beat. We inherit this vanity, circles of creeds. Inherit the liars, the murderous thieves. One sin for every one day of the week.
Back here on Apple Music One, I'm here with Ren in the Apple Music Los Angeles studios, and that was the opening track of his album Sick Boy called 7 Sins. Now, I mean, it's really hard to put your music into a category, right? It's hard to kind of slap a genre of it. It's spoken word, your cadences, your flows, it's an amalgamation of, I feel like, everything that we all grew up listening to. Right, I can hear a little bit of Eminem in there. Yeah, I can hear a little bit of Linkin Park in terms of like subject matter. You have that Verve cover that I watched on YouTube. Why did you choose a song like Seven Sins to start this new era of Ren off with?
Funnily enough, that was the last song that I wrote for the album.
The last song became the first.
The last song became the first. And I think it was a good thing to do because that way, you feel like the vibe of the whole album. And I wanted something that kind of encapsulated that, introduced it well. And, starting with that Welsh choir who's like honoring my roots and then going to that sort of like epic orchestral opening. I just wanted to start, like, I don't know, some of my favorite early hip hop records, they have like an interlude right there, or just like an intro right at the start. It's just like this big epic intro that's like, okay, something cool's coming, And that was originally only meant to be like a minute long. It was just meant to be like a little musical intro. It turned into 4 minutes by mistake because I just got carried away. I was kept writing. I was like, oh yeah, sick. Okay, let's go. So it's kind of by mistake, but I feel like it kind of summarizes the journey and it summarizes the album well.
Well, I mentioned this song a few minutes ago as well, but Hi Ren. I mean, safe to say, completely viral sensation. 21 million views on the video on YouTube. And I mean, you're sitting in a hospital chair. You're sitting in a chair in a hospital gown playing your guitar. You said creating this song wasn't easy, but I'm so proud of how it turned out. Why was it so tough?
I think that was a bit of a turning point for me in terms of just the raw honesty of like what I was going through. And it got to the point where it just felt really cathartic to be like, because I'm talking about a lot of self-doubts that like everyone has. It's not just relatable to my sickness. It's just like, especially creators and artists, you've got that voice in your head that's like, man, you're so fucking pretentious.
That's what I loved about it, man. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yo, my music's actually doing good. And it's like, yeah, you fucking would say that. You got this God complex. And it's like, exactly. I mean, it's this internal dialogue that I think we're all kind of faced with. Yeah. From the jump, because, putting yourself in this position, it's incredibly vulnerable. And I mean, it's you against the world.
That's it. Yeah. And I think sharing that is as brutally honest as well. And just making fun of myself as well in that situation, and not being afraid to admit that I'm a hypocrite. Like, we're all hypocrites. It's difficult not to be a human being, not be self-contradictory or a hypocrite, So I think it might have been refreshing for people to hear that take on things rather than just the self-doubt or just the messiah complex, like overconfidence that's in a lot of hip-hop, It's like, it was treading the line between both. But I never really expected it to do as well as it did. It just, the way that it lifted everything simultaneously was really cool.
I think what I'm fascinated by is as a songwriter, right? How do you get there? I mean, are you starting off with just the devil on your shoulder and you're kind of, writing down all of these negatives about yourself and then answering them? Or are you having this conversation with yourself in real time as the song is coming together?
I had the concept for years, actually. I just hadn't brought it to life. And initially it was going to end with me dying. It didn't have the hope verse right at the end. It was just kind of like, I don't know, it came from a darker place when I started it. And then I think it was just one conversation I had where someone was like, why are all your songs so bleak? And I was like, no. Because it wasn't really my reality, because I'd been faced with challenges and hurdles that I had to overcome during my life, and there was still that persistence. So then I added in that verse of hope right at the end, which became my favorite verse in the song, to be honest. And it just tied it up in a real nice way. And then right at the end, I wrote that little monologue right at the end. The spoken word bit came very last. And yeah, I don't know. I think it moved away from being a song into more of like a kind of an art piece. And that pretentious voice is in my head right now saying, Ren, that sounds pretentious, mate. But that's what it did. It turned into more of an art piece, you know what I mean?
Well, I want to play that song right now if it's cool with you, man.
Yeah.
Here it is, more with Ren, but after this.
Hi there, Ren. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down, you know that. Deep down, you know I'm always in periphery. Ren, on your pleased to see me. It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me.
Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately. and I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill. Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect to always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Dumb boy. Nah, mate, this time is different, man. Trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place, and my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great, and when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help. You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one, so you see. You gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere. Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with the subconscious, Eminem did it. Played on guitar, Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. I don't need you, I don't need to hear this, cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves, and I'll shake up the whole world beneath it. That's right, speak your truth, your God complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to actually you say it instead of downplay it.
Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus.
I'ma kill you, Ren. Kill me then, let me have you, Ren. I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside. Newsflash. I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason, beheading all kings. I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mephistophelies, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender. When standing in front of my solar eclipse, my name is stitched to your lips. So you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal, feeble and normal. You wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, Ren. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So cower at the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs, that I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspire that me to be strong. And when I am gone I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a climate different side. Ooh, 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 ooh. When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare. But there were victims, and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax. And I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
Back here in the Apple Music Studios with Ren, and that was his song, Hi Ren. Make sure you check out his latest album, Sick Boy. It is available on Apple Music right after the show. Now, this album took out Rick Astley to score the #1 spot on Billboard's UK Top 100 its first week on the chart, a feat that has only been accomplished by 4 other Welsh artists, Sir Tom Jones, Bonnie Tyler, Shakin' Stevens, and Duffy.
Damn.
And, yeah.
I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No.
I'm giving you some stats,
So
man.
let's go.
I'll
keep that one.
Yeah. You posted a video of yourself celebrating on your socials as well with your friends. I mean, why was it so important for you to celebrate with your people?
Oh, I mean, honestly, like the people who've been involved in this project, they're just as important as I am in this situation. Like like the blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into it. Because, like we've done this independently. It's really just pushing and carving out spaces and kind of unorthodox ways to promote the album. So, and everyone has put in so much work to it. So when we were celebrating, as you see in that video, everyone is celebrating as if it was their own achievement, because it is, So like, and it's a beautiful thing, man. There's that, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Into the Wild. Yeah. So there's like that scene right at the end where the realization he comes to after this life pursuit of like seeking, spoiler alert, by the way, seeking happiness by being isolated away from civilization. His happiness is only really real when it's shared, and it kind of felt like that. It felt like if I had been there sat by myself listening to radio, I don't think it would have felt as good. So having my people around me felt amazing. Yeah.
Well, and how many times have we heard the stories of people who accomplish everything they've set out to, and it's the most isolated and alone they've ever felt?
Yeah, I may be the face of this thing, but this thing wouldn't exist if it wasn't for all the good people around me.
Yeah.
Now,
I know this is probably a tough one to answer, man, but out of all the 18 songs on this album, is there one that feels the most personal to you?
Probably Suicide. Yeah, probably Suicide. If we're talking about like rawness and just not sugarcoating a topic. Yeah, just that was about the death of one of my best friends, the sort of friend who you sleep in a house for 2 weeks straight just playing PlayStation when you're a kid. I met him when I was 8 years old. The first thing he did was like, watch this. And I was obsessed with WWF wrestling and stuff. He goes and stands on the sofa, does the Swanton Bomb the Swanton Bomb, the Jeff Hardy flip right onto a stone floor. And I'm looking at this kid like, is he okay? And then he gets up and he stands on the sofa and he does it again. And like, ever since then, man, he was like a brother to me, man. And we've grown up since we were like 8 until I was like 20 years old. And then he was 19 and I was sat with him Christmas Eve in his pub. We're talking and he was just like, he was down, man, because he'd just been through like a breakup, and before that he'd been through another breakup, and he was just really, really low in a really bad place, and he'd been drinking all the time for like months leading up to it. And then a couple of days later, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call from my friend Ella, who's one of Joe's best girl mates, and she's like, Ren, like Joe's on the bridge, he's just phoned me saying he's gonna jump. I know that you're the closest person to the house. So I throw on all my things. I'm running up to this bridge. This is about 5 minutes walk from my house. Phoning his number on repeat, but it's engaged. So I'm like, okay, good. He's on the phone to someone. But halfway through the run, I'm sprinting. I redial and it's like this number's out of service, and I get this sinking feeling. And I get there probably about 2 minutes too late, and he's jumped off the bridge. Yeah. So it was tough, man. It was like coming to terms with that. Again, the thing you said about invincibility, I think that was the first thing that shattered that illusion, because you hear about these stories in the news, but they never really penetrate your sphere of existence until it happens to somebody who you see or talk to every day, and then all of a sudden they're just not there anymore. It's a real surreal thing to come to terms with, especially at that age, So, I wrote a song at the time. My first album was dedicated to him, called Freckled Angels, because he was covered head to toe in freckles, and I always wanted to tribute him that way. And then I hadn't really revisited the topic until I wrote Suicide, and it just kind of poured out. And I had a beautiful moment where I went back to Wales last year, where I played it to his mum and dad in person, because they hadn't seen the video before, and we all sat there crying. But then it was lots of love, lots of smiles, and I gave them half the record sales for that, because they weren't too well off. She was gassed. She was like well happy, because she was saving up for a camper van, so they bought a camper van. And
good for you, man.
Yeah, man, it felt good. It felt good to be able to.
I bet.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna play it right now, if that's okay with you.
Please.
Here it is, Suicide by Ren. More with him right after this.
Falling through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. I'm so lonely beneath this. Narcissistic, can't keep a secret. Miscount sheep, I can't sleep, a misfit. Some say trouble, but some say sadistic. Bruises my brother, one time or the other. My skin felt counterfeit, silicone rubber. Bruises my sister, skin pop the blister. Dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. Falling through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Sick boy, bitten by a tech boy. I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. I'm so washed up and seasick, masochistic kid with a split lip. 6 feet deep, I can't eat, I'm nervous. Won't stay down cause my body purges. Useless my mother, can't keep in my supper. Skin so pale cause my cheeks leak colour. Truth is my father, you choose your karma. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armour. Falling through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
It's hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, hatchet job. I locked my youth inside a trunk, inside a pickup truck, then dumped the whole thing over that same bridge the night you jumped. I think about that sometimes, vividly. What it felt like to look down and see tranquility. One sudden movement in a world of possibility. Only one movement to expose our fragility. I miss you, and I miss myself. I miss thinking we were indestructible as well. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back with Callum, Hugo, Sega, Justin, Stevie and the lads. I miss missing that. I numb myself to close the gap. I never even call them up. The distance is my plastic cast. The truth is that the day you jumped, my childhood jumped too. But I still can't find that anger. All I find is missing you, man, I miss you. With all my rhymes, I picture running 5 minutes quicker, I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge and then we're crying, and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. Not the way that it worked, cause I was late like a jerk. There's not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt. Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hearse. I hope you're listening, I love you, man, I miss you absurd.
Back here in the Apple Music Studios with Ren, we are talking about his latest album, Sick Boy. Make sure to listen to all 18 tracks right after the show, right here on Apple Music. I mean, I know you blessed us with 18 songs. With the album being out, can we expect to see a deluxe in the future, or are you already kind of working on the next project,
I'm already cooking, man. Even before this album was finished, I was cooking, bro. I've got 2 projects in mind that I've already tinkered away. I mean, the next album's mostly written, and it's a very different vibe. It's a lot more song-based. I don't even know if there'll be any rapping on this album, but it's song, and it's playing tributes to a lot of the big early Britpop bands that I loved, and bands like the Pixies, bands like the Police.
Sick.
Yeah, just because when I went busking, they were always the bands that I loved to play and cover. So it's a lot of that, and then I've also got an idea for a collaboration mixtape where every track is a collaboration with artists that I love. Because basically now we've got this record, we're coming off the back of this #1 record. There's a lot of doors open now, so we can lock on a lot more doors and secure features that I'll be really excited by. So that'll probably be more hip hop rooted again. But they're the 2 things I've got on the agenda at the moment.
What message do you have for anyone listening that supported this album?
Oh, I just want to say thank you, man. Honestly, because we're doing this by ourselves, like, the fans have essentially been the marketing team, you know. They've been the reason I'm sat here talking to you, the reason that the record got a #1 in the UK, you know. So, I mean, I'm immensely grateful. Yeah.
I know one of the most rewarding things, you know, for me after locking myself in a room for months on end and making an album is getting to go play those songs live on the road.
Yeah.
Can we expect a tour in the near future?
Well, the thing with juggling my health and this career at the same time is, again, I've had to approach things in a more unorthodox way. So I imagine, I love playing live, man. It's one of the best buzzes ever, like better than any drug you could take. There's just such a good feeling. You come off stage and you feel like cloud 9.
Yeah.
So I imagine what I'll probably do is do bigger shows less frequently than a 60-day tour because of the strain that puts on your body. I mean, you'll know this. It's not an easy thing to do, you know what I mean? So I imagine we'll be quite select with them, but I want to put a lot into them and make them real special. So yeah, hopefully we can take this record and bring it into the live scenario. That'd be wicked.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Well, as we end our convo, is there a song on the record that you want to cap this all off with, man?
Oh, a full stop, eh? Let me think about this one. Which one should we go? I'll dedicate it because I know my mate Vic will be listening, and he's out in Canada at the moment. So we'll do the only feature on the albums with my friend Vic. So I'll dedicate it to him, and we'll go with Down on the Beat.
All right.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to do it. Ren, congratulations, brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming by. Obviously, massive year for you. I'm excited to hear what you have coming next. And when more new music is ready, send it my way.
Will do.
Play it on the show, support you, and sit down and do this again.
Hell yes.
All right.
Right.
Put it down on the beat. I'ma make it sound so sweet. When you hit the stand of the gun, that's a cue to run. When I put it down on the beat, I'ma make it sound so sweet. When you hit the stand of the gun, that's a cue to run. When I put it down on the beat, I'ma make it sound so sweet. Little men love to speak. I don't lose sleep in the whispers of sheep. When you hear the sound of the gun, rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, that's my tongue, spit like thunder come. Drums in Moria, boom boom rum tum tum. I'm a king, who's the king? I'm the king of the ring. I'ma run this thing. I'm a Don Yang Ying on the yin yang thing. Jump upon that swing of the drum, boom 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 boom. Black come through like that. I'm not new to rap on a Zulu cap, man. I do tracks and I do make stats. What do you do, lad? Are you true to that? On this beat, I'm fat like a sumo. My name's Ren and I know my judo. Candlestick killer, kill them like Cluedo. Numero 2, numero 1. You know, speak so frank like Bruno. Hey Sarah, he loves Juno. Hugo, boss man drip with a new flow. True though, Sharingan killer, they call me Naruto. When I put it down on the beat, I'ma make it sound so sweet. When you hit the stand of the gun, that's a cue to run. When I put it down on the beat, I'ma make it sound so sweet. When you hit the stand of the gun, that's a cue to run.
When I put it down on the beat, I'ma keep the ground on my feet. I don't win no crown on the street, but you still know me. Still the same old V, still the same old house on the same old street with a brand new flow on the same old beat, and it turns to gold every time I speak. Look me in my eyes, though, feeling like Michael. Wait, delete that, I made a typo. Michael Myers, Halloween psycho, light them fires, arsonist pyro, spiral, dragon and Frodo, bagging all the you're chatting, your teeth get smashed in, extracting like dentist grafting, nitrous oxide gas, no laughing.
When I put it down on the beat,
I'ma lay you down in the sheets. Take her to the circus, she a freak. Vegan girl, she still likes my meat. Feed the girl, cause it's time to eat. Toes curl when I'm in too deep. Girl, now you really wanna beef. Oh, he's knocking on the front door, leave!
what's That black socker, that scene took my socks up, chop chop. I'm a millipede on my feet. Mohammed Ali with my reach, biting double D's in my teeth. I'm a freak, I'm a goated PT on the beat. You're unique, you're a little boy, you're a geek. Let me speak, I'm a cut like joy when I preach. I'm a beast, I'm a cum Loch Ness unleashed. Who's that boy who moves like a raver? Oi, 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 a new tasty flavor. Anakin flow, I glow like a saber. No sweat, bro, I'm loving the labor. Workaholic. She twerk, she's twerking right on it. One in the backseat,
One on the bonnet.
grabbing Mike William, this is my sonnet. I'm that fella sipping cellar, we call that an interstellar. I'm a rapping Cinderella, serve it like it's mozzarella. Acapella, say it better, bend the beat like you again. Go get a trendsetter, on your feet like David Guetta. Better and better, I serve it letter for letter. The alphabet upsetter, I make the cheese, I make cheddar. I got the rata vendetta, I'm spitting pepper when I impeccable rhythm, the rock mecca on the beat. When I put it down on the beat, I'ma make it sound so sweet. When you hit the sound of the gun, that's a Q2 run. When I put it down on the beat, I'ma make it sound so sweet. When you hit the sound of the gun, that's a Q2 run. When I put it down on the beat, I'ma make it sound so sweet. When you hit the sound of the gun, that's a Q2. When I put it down on the beat, I'ma make it sound so sweet. When you hit the sound of the gun, that's a Q2 run. When I put it down, when I put it down on the beat, I'ma make it sound so, I'ma make it sound so sweet. When you hit the sound of the gun, when you hit the sound of the gun, that's a Q2, that's a Q2 run.
You're backstage.
This is the Travis Mills Show.